Shalom, shalom. Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. A salutation to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. Now I just want to, do my quick response video to Vocab Malone, who once again has proclaimed that, Great Millstone is the worst of the worst. Well, what I have to say to that is, being declared the worst is actually, telling us that we're the best, Being declared that Great Millstone is the worst of the worst is basically a signal to us that we are doing our job correctly. That's basically what it is. Because what it boils down to is who's following the scriptures, and who's not. Who's teaching the scriptures correctly and who's not. Who is using the scriptures for rebuke, exhortation, and doctrine, and who is not. And when you answer those three questions, the only people that you come up with is Great Millstone, And one reason why you get Great Millstone and they say that we're the worst of the worst is because we are the ones that are set to rebuke for the whole world, man. We're the ones that are constantly in the scriptures and constantly bringing out the scriptures and telling the whole world their judgment, telling, giving 2/3 of Israel their judgment, and this is all through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, but through the spirit of the world, they hate that, This is Amos 5:10. It says they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly, So they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and we rebuke in the gates often, especially when we go out on the highways and byways, highways meaning the gates and the entryways to the cities, man, So they hate him that rebuketh in the gate. Why? Because he shows forth the transgressions of the people, And it says they abhor him that speak uprightly. Go back to the word abhor. That word abhor means abstain from or ostracize, And that's exactly what you see the rest of the world doing to Great Millstone, Or doing to those that have the spirit of the Lord, spirit of prophecy. They ostracize us from their company, man, That's what they're doing when they say we're the worst of the worst, or don't watch GMS videos, or they spread rumors and lies about us, man. Because one thing that you notice about the world, and two things are for certain, is that the world is in a period of gross darkness, man. This is Psalms 82:5 says they know not, neither will they understand. So they don't know the will of the Lord, and they won't understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course, So they walk on in darkness and they'll never understand the will of the Lord, man. So they look at, Apostle Har and the elders and, on down, and they look at us and they see light. But the world is in darkness, pursuing the Psalms 82, So if the world's in darkness, just like, and I use this as a metaphor all the time, just like when you have someone that's in a dark bedroom asleep and you walk in and you turn on the light, what is the first thing that person that's asleep is going to do? He's going to wake up and he's going to look at you and he's going to tell you to turn off the light. Sometimes they're going to scream, turn off the light. Sometimes they're going to throw things at you, and that's what the known world is doing, to not just the Great Millstone, but to the whole revelation of the Israelites in general, who the true Israelites are according to the scriptures in general, But it's mostly being aimed at Great Millstone because why? We tell the pure and adulterated truth, This is Galatians 4:16. It says, "Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?" And that's the essence of what we're dealing with here, We've become the enemy of the whole known world, including all of the other Israelite camps, because we tell the truth. We go into the scriptures and we bring out the scriptures. Nothing more, nothing less. We rebuke, we exhort, and we prove the doctrine. So we're doing nothing more and nothing less than telling the truth. And we've become the enemy of the whole known world, because we have the light, and this light is condemning this whole known world, man. This light is shining in this world full of darkness, man. You know, this world is shining in this light full of darkness. This is John chapter 3, verse 19. It says, and this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, So this is the condemnation. What happens when you look at, matter of fact, let's look at the word condemn real quick.
Strong's G 2920, krisis.
Krisis, which means a separating, a sundering, separation, a trial, contest, judgment, opinion or decision given concerning anything, especially concerning justice and injustice, right or wrong, sentence of condemnation, damnatory judgment, condemnation and punishment, right or justice, So this is the condemnation, this is the judgment, this is the trial, Now, it says this is, the condemnation. Now, if we substitute that word condemnation for trial or judgment, what are you going to get? You're going to get something like a comparison to lawyers, right? Now, going back to Galatians 4 and 16, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? When you go into a courtroom and you have the judge presiding and you have lawyers trying the case, right? Now, whatever happens when you see a big profile case, and let's say the lawyer who's supposed to be the prosecutor, he wins the case, because he presented all the facts in, a timely and in an unadulterated fashion, and the tried got condemned, and in many cases that lawyer becomes the enemy, and that's exactly what's becoming of Great Millstone, man. The tried is the people in the world, of all nations. The judge is the Most High, and the lawyers are his prophets, man. Which, I'm just gonna say it, have come from Great Millstone, And I'm not saying that the only prophets that can come about is from Great Millstone, but Great Millstone has a spirit, man. And everyone that teaches the proper doctrine that is passed down from the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, So this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world. And men loved darkness rather than light. Now, going back to Psalms 82 and 5, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Now, the light, or the condemnation, the light and the condemnation that the light brings is coming to the world to basically set the world aright, set the world in course, because the world's in darkness. But guess what? John 3 and 19 says, and men loved darkness rather than light, So, like going back to the analogy I said, you walk into a dark room, somebody's sleeping, you turn on the light, and why do they yell at you to turn off the light? So they can go back to sleep, So they can go back to sleep because the darkness is good, it feels good, they're comfortable. And in that comfortability, they can go back to sleep and get the rest that they want. They don't want to be awake. And that's the message that you get from the rest of the world. They don't want to be awake. They want to go back to sleep. Why? Because their deeds were evil. They want to go back to sleep because their deeds were evil, man. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light. So that's why you get a lot of guys that are against Israelite camps, are against the truth of being an Israelite. We're Christians, we're diehard Catholics, and this and that, and you get, our own people that come up against us, because they love darkness rather than light, and they hate the light. They neither come to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved, So they don't want to come to the light because they don't want their deeds to be reproved. They don't want to be told what they're doing is against the law of the Most High. They don't want to be told what they're doing is not expedient for their spirits, man. They don't want to be told that. That's why I started out with the first scripture, Amos 5:10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and abhor him that speaketh uprightly. Because he is teaching them that their deeds are evil, man. You know? Verse just John 3:21 says, But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in the Most High. You know? So he that doeth the truth came to the light, and his deeds were shown. You know? And since he came to the light and his deeds were shown, it has been shown that he is doing what's right in the Lord, man. But guess what? 2/3 of our people, along with the other nations, they thrive in the darkness because they feel like no one sees them, man. You know? And Great Millstone is the only ones that are shining this light, this flashlight in this gross darkness upon the world, man. You know? So when we get things like Great Millstone is the worst of the worst, or we get rumors passed out about us about, us doing this and that and things that are unseemly, we laugh at those. Yeah, we get kind of irritated, but we laugh at those things because we understand that if the world hates us, then we are doing our job, man. You know. Now this is Luke 6:22. It says, "Blessed are ye when men shall hate you." Now I want to and I want to take this and I want to ask a question, man. It says, "Blessed are ye when men shall hate you." Now, when you look at a man of God, right? Everybody in this world, has been taught the dogma that a man of the Lord has to be floating on air, has to be walking on water, changing water into wine, turning one loaf into seven loaves, um, you know, all of them do and has to do all the miracles that Yahushua did in order to be seen as a man of the Lord. Has to wake people from the dead, has to heal the lame and the sick, has to cure blindness. But the world doesn't understand that all of those things are spiritual now, and they think that a man of the Lord is going to be loved by everybody. But then when you really read the scriptures and you pay attention to what's being said in the scriptures, nobody liked men of the Lord. Like when you go back to, First Kings, 19th chapter, and you look at King Ahab, you know, and you look at the prophet, he said right off the bat, he said, I don't like this man because matter of fact, he said, I hate him because he never prophesied anything good concerning me. When they seen Samuel come out of the temple, when the elders seen Samuel come out of the temple, they were afraid, man. They asked Samuel like, okay, well, what kind of message you got today? Because nothing you say is good. When you read Jeremiah, the 28th chapter, man, when Jeremiah was prophesying, he was prophesying of evils, man, that Israel was going to be taken into captivity by Babylon, man. And they tried to kill Jeremiah. Isaiah, they tried to kill Isaiah, man. They killed Yahushua. Come on, man. The world hates the prophets of the Lord because they prophesy of bad times and evil things, and catastrophic events that are going to happen on this little blue rock we call planet Earth, because the sole simple fact is the world is evil, and it takes a certain amount of men to stand up to the world, man. Matter of fact, let me get no. Was that Psalm 67? Let's see. There we go. Psalm 94. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? And that answer is the prophets of the Lord, man. And right now, that answer is only pointing you to Great Millstone and those who have the doctrine, the true spirit of the Lord, man. That's who this is pointing you to. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Who will rise up for the Most High against the whole known world that's in gross darkness, man? That love darkness rather than light, because their deeds are evil. And that's Great Millstone. So when you look at things like Luke 6:22, blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, you know, because this happened to all the prophets of the Lord, man, and they were blessed. They were counted among the chosen, you know. And prophets ain't gonna be around here sitting and floating on air and shit, man. That's a fairy tale, you know. And shall reproach you. And didn't Vocab Malone reproach Great Millstone, saying we're the worst of the worst? He said that twice now. He's not the only one that said that. The Black conscious community has said that. The rest of the Christian community has said that. The the uh the man, I can't even remember. I can't even remember. The IUIC has said that. Other Israelite groups have said that. You know, it says, "And shall reproach you and cast out your name as evil." And when you look at all the Israelite camps around today, and you look at it, and they all have one message. And against who? It's against who? It's great against Great Millstone. You know, oh, they're evil. They do this and they do that. But the thing is, we don't do anything but teach the scriptures, and the world hates us for it. You know, that tells us that we're doing the right thing, that we're on the right track, man. They hated Yahushua, they're gonna hate us too, man. The Lord said, uh, you know, for the world hateth you, you know, and roughly paraphrasing, the world hateth you, but just know that it hated me. It doesn't hate you, it hates me, you know. So it says, for the Son of Man's sake, you know, rejoice ye in that day, and leap for joy. For behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. Like I've been saying, man. You know, they did the same thing to the prophets in the old time that are written in the book, man. So how much more us? You know, the scripture said the servant is not above his master. So we're going to go through the same thing. If we're the servants of Yahushua, we're going to go through the same things he went through. You know, the prophets of the Lord will go through the same things that he went through. You know, so guess what? Vocab, shit loan, whatever the hell your name is. Look, man, you're not doing anything against the truth before it, man. You're boosting brother spirits, and now you're still causing everyone wants to know one question: who is Great Millstone? What is a Hebrew Israelite? That's the only thing that you're. That's the only thing that you're posing in people's minds. You know, is more curiosity about the Israelites, more curiosity about the scriptures, more curiosity about Great Millstone, more curiosity about the Spirit of the Lord, more curiosity about our people's true history and heritage, man. That's all you are doing, you know. You know, that's all you're doing. It's 2 Corinthians 4:1. It says, I charge thee therefore before the Most High, and the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing in his kingdom. Preach the word. And this is why we are attacked so much, man. It says, preach the word, be instant in season, out of season. You know, meaning when when an opportunity presents itself, and when the opportunity isn't so seasonable, isn't so fathomable, isn't so palatable. You know, to teach. We teach no matter what. No matter if it's cold, no matter if it's hot, no matter if we're in the house, no matter if we have to do it on our phones, no matter if we have to do it while we're driving, it doesn't matter. You know, reprove, rebuke, and that's what we've been doing. We've been reproving and rebuking the whole world, man, in the laws of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua through the Spirit, man. Exhort with all long suffering and doctrine, you know, and we do have long suffering because we're long suffering the coming of our Lord, man. And it says and doctrine, you know. This is why they're pissed off, man, because we show forth the doctrine, man. It says, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, you know. And we're at that time now. They don't want to endure sound doctrine. They don't want to listen to us on the corners and watching our shows and videos that we create, you know, on the Spirit of the Lord, you know. But they, after their own lust, shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. And that's the Christian community. That's the Black consciousness. That's the Catholics. That's the Rastafarians. That's the Buddhism. That's all these other religions around the earth. You know, even atheism and science and these so-called prestigious colleges and schools and think tanks, man. You know, It says, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. And the whole world is turned unto fables, man. The whole world is turning their ears from the truth. Why? Because of who it's coming from and the way it's being presented, you know. But it doesn't matter, because there's one irrefutable truth that everybody doesn't want to utter, and that's 1 Corinthians 4:9. For I think that the Most High has set forth us, the apostles, last. And when you read this scripture, you can't help but think of the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, man, as it were appointed to death. And Lord willing, I'm accounting of the number. Lord willing, I'm able to die for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua as well. But as it were appointed to death, we're the only ones that are going to do this until we die, man. Because we have that much faith. It says, for we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels and to men. And no other Israelite, you can say the Israelite camps are made of spectacles because people laugh at them and they dress up in goofy garments and they shout and they got megaphones. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. But when you look at it, when you truly look at it, Great Millstone is truly known as a spectacle. We've had accusations and rumors against us. We've been called Edomites. We've been laughed at for having, confusions of faces in the camp. We've been had slander videos made on us. We've been told that we're teaching for the Rosicrucians. We've been told we've been doing this. It's been said we've done this and that. Anything under the heavens, you name it. It's been said that Great Millstone is doing it. It says, we are fools for Yahushua's sake, but we are wise in Yahushua. We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised. See, it says the apostles will be despised, man. We are despised among men. We are despised among men. It says, even unto this present hour we both hunger and thirst and are naked and are buffeted and have no certain dwelling place. Because it was up to the world, they would root us out of the earth, man. And labor, working with our own hands, being reviled, we bless. Being persecuted, we suffer it, So this tells you that the apostles will be persecuted, man. When you look around and you look at all the major religions on earth and you look at even the other Israelite camps, nobody's being persecuted. Hell, you got all types of dirt that came up on IUIC, and Nate's still walking around like ain't shit happen. The Catholic Church is now it's coming out. It's finally coming out that on a grand scale that they've been molesting children for decades, and the Pope's still standing. The Christian Church has been found out to be the most unprecedented pathological liars in existence, and everybody still flocks to them. The only ones that are despised are the true prophets and teachers of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. So again, vocab Malone, man. Like Apostle Gabar said, man, you're a fucking loser, dude. You saying that we're the worst of the worst just lets us know that we're doing our job, man. So with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to the brother on the four corners of earth, pushing word, truth, and sincerity. Shalom.